everybody, and in this video we are going to study about mitochondria and plastids, and in plastids specifically we are going to study about chloroplast, right? So these two organelles are very important organelles in eukaryotic cell, right? So let's study about first mitochondria. Mitochondria is present for cellular respiration. Now we must be thinking about respiration with breathing, right? What we are doing as inspiration and expiration, we are considering it. We are considering these processes as respiration, right? But this is not respiration, this is actually breathing. Respiration is a process wherein a molecule is being broken down and from that energy is obtained, right? So this kind of process is called respiration, which is occurring in our body, partially in cytoplasm of cell and partially in mitochondria of our cell, right? So mitochondria is the organelle where cellular respiration is occurring, and by doing cellular respiration, energy is conserved in the form of ATP molecule. Energy is stored in the form of ATP molecule, right? So this organelle is also called powerhouse of cell. Understood? So this is about mitochondria. Now let's study about how they are present in cell and what is their ultrastructure, right? Number of mitochondria is depending on how much the cell is physiologically active, and an average mitochondria is of cylindrical shape, sausage shape, and or it can be spherical in shape, right? And its diameter is 0.2 to 1 micrometer and its length can be 1 to 4.1 micrometer. So these are the dimensions of mitochondria. Now let's see ultrastructure of mitochondria, right? But to see that, we will also draw a diagram of mitochondria because it is very important to draw this diagram as well. Let's say this is outer membrane. Now what we are drawing is mitochondria, right? And this one is inner membrane. And you can see that these are extensions of inner membrane, right? And these extensions of inner membrane are called crista. Right? It is called crista. Understood? Now this whole mitochondria have two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane, right? So this two membrane system is dividing whole mitochondria into two compartments, right? This one is that is between the inner membrane and outer membrane is called outer compartment, and this one is called inner compartment. Understood? And inner compartment is also called as matrix. So it is called as mitochondrial matrix. Understood? And in this matrix there are several substances like DNA, then RNA and ribosomes. right? So you will draw this diagram when it is needed for exam. You will practice this. You will practice diagram of this at home also, right? And you will draw all these structures which I have drawn inside the matrix as well. Understood? And there is one more thing that we need to discuss is, if we see this crista in its more magnified image, right? If we see this surface of crista in more magnified image, what we will get here is there is more extension of membrane over here. Understood? There are more extension of membrane over here. Understood? And so this kind of more extension of membrane, that means to increase surface area, this is called, each structure are called oxysomes or F1 particles. Well, this is called oxysomes or F1 particles, right? And both this membrane, outer membrane and inner membrane, have their own proteins, have their own enzymes, and they are carrying out all the mitochondrial functions, right? It is also having its own DNA molecule. These are mitochondrial DNA, right? From which mitochondrial RNA is produced. Understood? From which mitochondrial RNA is produced, right? And this mitochondrial RNA with ribosome produces protein molecules, right? And these protein molecules, these protein molecules which are produced through this DNA, RNA and ribosomes are constituting half of the mitochondrial proteins, right? So half of the mitochondrial proteins are produced by mitochondria itself. Therefore, mitochondria is called semi-autonomous organelle. Autonomous means self-governing, right? So some of the proteins of mitochondria are produced by DNA of nucleus, and some of the proteins of mitochondria is produced through mitochondrial DNA, right? That's why mitochondria is called semi-autonomous organelle. And this mitochondria, in which crista is there, F1 particles or like oxysomes are there, they are having certain enzymes which are carrying out processes like Krebs cycle and oxidative phosphorylation, which is actually more than 50% of all aerobic respiration, right? In which aerobic respiration, you know what is aerobic respiration, in which oxygen is required. Understood? So in aerobic respiration, we know that conversion of glucose to pyruvic acid is occurring in cytoplasm. This pyruvic acid comes and enters in the mitochondrial matrix, and in here, from this pyruvic acid, carbon dioxide is produced from glucose molecule, right? The whole glucose molecule breakdowns, that is here pyruvic acid is there. So whole pyruvic acid is broken down into 3 carbon dioxide. So from one glucose molecule, 2 pyruvic acid is producing, and from 2 pyruvic acid molecules, there will be 6 carbon dioxide formation will occur. Understood? Is occurring in mitochondria. Understood? And that is how aerobic respiration, half of the aerobic respiration is occurring in the, more than half of the aerobic respiration is occurring in the mitochondria, result of which there is formation of ATP molecules, and that's why this mitochondria is also called powerhouse of cell. Understood? This mitochondria, this cell organelle is called powerhouse of cell. Now let's study about plastids. Plastids are the cell organelles which are present only in plant kingdom. Organisms of plant kingdom, or cells of plant kingdom more specifically, right? So these plastids can be different in different number in different organisms, right? And these plastids are of 3 types depending on what color they are exhibiting, right? If the plastid is having green, if the plastid is green in color, then it is chloroplast, and if it is colorful, that is yellow or orange or any else color, then it can be called as chromoplast, and if it doesn't have any color, then it is called leucoplast. So according to what color it is exhibiting, they are of 3 types. Chloroplast, chloro means green, chromoplast means colorful, leuco means colorless. So leucoplast, according to what kind of color they are exhibiting, their names are also there. Understood? Now, why chloroplasts are green in color? Because they are having photosynthetic pigment called chlorophyll. understood? And why chromoplast is having colorful why it is colorful, why it seems yellow to orange in color, or yellow to orange in color, because it have carotenoid pigments, it have xanthophyll, and this proportion will lead to the color formation from yellow to red, right? Not only till orange, but it is also till red, understood? So depending on what kind of pigments are present in the chromoplast and in what proportion they are present, color is been exhibited, understood, in the chromoplast. And leucoplast does not have any such photosynthetic pigment. In fact, this leucoplast are like storage plastids, right? They are also of three types. If it is storing starch molecules, then they can be called as amyloplast, right? This amyloplast can be found in cells of potato tuber. Potato tuber is the one which we are eating, right? The part of potato plant which we are eating is called potato tuber, and that potato tuber is having this amyloplast in its cell, which is storing starch in it, understood? Next is aleuroplast, which is storing protein in it, and last one is elaioplast, which is storing oil or lipid molecules in it, right? So in this way there are three types of leucoplast. Now let's talk about chloroplast. Chloroplast is the organelle which is also called kitchen of the cell, right? Kitchen house of the cell. Why it is called kitchen house of the cell? Because here food is been prepared for the photosynthetic organisms, for phototrophic organisms, understood? So that's why chloroplasts are called kitchen house of the cell, and they are the cell which are having chlorophyll pigments, understood, which is primarily responsible for or primarily essential for photosynthesis, understood? Now number of chloroplasts in a cell, that is number of chloroplasts per cell, can be very they are varying in different organisms. They are varying from 1 per cell, 1 chloroplast per cell in cells like Chlamydomonas, a green algae, to 20 to 40 chloroplast per cell in mesophyll tissue. Mesophyll tissue is tissue of leaves, understood? So there is a huge variation in number of chloroplast per cell depending on which kind of organism it is, understood? Now again in this chloroplast whole photosynthesis is occurring, and this photosynthesis, and to understand how photosynthesis is occurring, we need to understand structure of chloroplast. Here we are not going to study about photosynthesis, but we are going to study about ultrastructure of chloroplast, how it is present, and what are the structures that are minute structures that are present within the chloroplast, right? So let's draw structure for this. This chloroplast can be of discoid shape, they can be of ribbon shape, they can be of lens shape, they can be of spherical shape, right? Depending on which cell it is, they are of different shapes. This is outer membrane, as in mitochondria. And inside it there is inner membrane. Each structure is called granum, right? And plural of granum is called grana. So this forms matrix of chloroplast, and it is called, this region is called stroma. And again, all these grana are interconnected with each other by stromal lamellae, right? They are interconnected with each other by stromal lamellae. Stromal lamella. Now, each coin-like structure that are arranged in stack, right, are called thylakoids. Understood? So this is how chloroplast is there, and you might be wonder that where chlorophyll must be present, right? Chlorophyll are present in membrane of these thylakoids, right? So in each granum there is certain number of thylakoids, and in each chloroplast there are certain number of grana. Understood? And all of these grana are interconnected with each other, forming a region called granum region. Right, so whole chloroplast is divided into two regions. That is, one is called grana region and another one is called stroma region. Right now, in grana region, whole photosynthesis process is divided into two parts. That is, a light phase and a dark phase. Light phase is occurring in the grana region, and dark phase is occurring in the stromal region. Understood? So that is how whole photosynthesis process is divided into two different regions of chloroplast. Again, like mitochondria, this organism is also having its own DNA, ribosome, and from this DNA, RNA will produce, and RNA and ribosome together will produce protein, right? They are producing proteins, and therefore chloroplast is also called, like mitochondria, they are also called semi-autonomous organelle. Understood? But one thing here is important to notice that in eukaryotic cell there are 80 in cytoplasm and outer wall of endoplasmic reticulum there are 80 S type of ribosomes, right? While in mitochondria and chloroplast there is 70 S type of ribosome, the one which are there in the prokaryotic cell, right? That kind of ribosome are present in both this organelle, that is mitochondria and chloroplast. So this is about chloroplast, and that's why, and as here photosynthesis is occurring, glucose molecule has been produced, so that's why this organelle is also called kitchen house of the cell. Understood? So this is about chloroplast.